There is a land of high plateaus and hidden gardens, where the wind carries the scent of rose water and the echoes of ancient kings. It is a civilization that has been conquered 1,000 times, yet has never truly surrendered, choosing instead to conquer its conquerors with the sheer force of its beauty and its mind.
Part 1. Echoes from the Past. In the beginning, there was the plateau, a vast, rugged expanse cradled by the Zagros and Zagros Mountains, a fortress of earth rising toward the heavens. For the ancient world, the land of Iran was a high sanctuary, a crossroads where the nomadic spirits of the north met the settled wisdom of the fertile plains. Long before the first empires, the Elamites built their brick cities at Susa, weaving a complex tapestry of trade and ritual that whispered to the surrounding world of a rising power. But the true echoes of the past began with the arrival of the Iranians, the Aryans, who brought with them a language and a worldview that sought to find order in the cosmic struggle between light and dark. These early peoples moved with their herds across the seasonal pastures, creating a deep ancestral bond with a landscape that was as harsh as it was breathtaking, laying the spiritual foundations for a nation that would always see itself as a garden in the desert. From the mists of these tribal memories emerged the Medes, a warrior aristocracy that first dared to challenge the iron grip of Assyria, signaling the dawn of a new era. But it was under Cyrus the Great that the Persian soul found its true purpose. In the year 550 BCE, Cyrus did more than build an empire. He birthed a vision of human dignity. He was a conqueror who did not seek to erase the identities of the conquered, but to protect them, allowing the Jewish exiles to return to Jerusalem and honoring the gods of Babylon. This was the Achaemenid dream, a world of many nations bound by a single enlightened law. From the palace at Pasargadae, Cyrus ruled not as a tyrant, but as a shepherd of peoples, establishing a legacy of tolerance and justice that would become the moral compass of the Persian identity for thousands of years to come. As the Achaemenid Empire reached its zenith under Darius the Great, the world saw the first true superpower. This was a realm of impossible scale, connected by the royal road and governed by an administrative genius that kept the peace from the Indus to the Nile. But the heart of this world was Persepolis, the city of Persians. Here, stone reliefs depicted a peaceful procession of nations, each bringing their finest gifts to the King of Kings. It was a masterpiece of architecture and diplomacy, a place where the diverse cultures of the ancient world met in a grand, ceremonial harmony. Persepolis was not just a seat of power, it was a physical manifestation of the Zoroastrian faith, a belief system that tasked every human being with the responsibility to choose good thoughts, good words, and good deeds in the eternal battle for the soul of the universe. Part 2. Dawn and the Rise of the City-States. The transition from the ancient world to the medieval was marked by a series of magnificent resurgences. Even after the fire of Alexander the Great's conquest had died down, the Persian spirit rose again, first under the Parthians, the masters of the horse and bow, and then, with breathtaking splendor, under the Sassanids. This was the Second Golden Age, an era of intense cultural refinement and imperial pride. From the soaring arch of Ctesiphon, the Sassanid Shahs stared down the power of Rome and Byzantium, positioning Iran as the singular, indispensable bridge between the East and the West. This was a land of philosophers, scientists, and master craftsmen, where the Silk Road brought the riches of China and the wisdom of India into the refined salons of the Persian court, creating a vibrant, cosmopolitan culture that would influence every neighboring civilization. The Sassanid era was a time of immense intellectual vigor, where the Academy of Gondishapur became the world's premier center of learning, translating the works of Greeks and Indians into the language of the plateau. It was an age of grand rituals and exquisite art, from the silver plates depicting royal hunts to the intricate silks that were prized in the markets of Europe. This period solidified the concept of Iran Shah, the land of the Iranians, a cultural and political space that transcended mere borders. It was a civilization defined by its high etiquette, its deep appreciation for music and poetry, and its sophisticated system of governance. The rise of these great Iranian states proved that the nation possessed a unique cultural magnetism, an ability to refine and synthesize every influence it touched into something uniquely and undeniably Persian. But history is a cycle of shadow and light, and the Sassanid sunset arrived with the unexpected thunder of the Arab conquest in the 7th century. This was a moment of profound existential crisis, as the ancient faith of Zoroaster was replaced by the message of Islam. Yet, the story of Iran is not one of erasure, but of transformation. In what is often called the 2 centuries of silence, the Persian people did not vanish. They went inward, preserving their language and their administrative traditions. By the time the Abbasid Caliphate rose in Baghdad, it was Persian bureaucrats, Persian scholars, and Persian poets who were the true architects of the Islamic Golden Age. The Arab conquerors may have brought a new religion, but they were eventually conquered by the Persian mind, as the ancient wisdom of the plateau became the intellectual engine of the entire Muslim world. Part 3. The Wars of Survival. The medieval era for Iran was a grueling test of endurance, a long war of survival against waves of invaders from the east. The most terrifying of these was the Mongol storm of the 13th century, a cataclysm that leveled the great cities of Nishapur and Merv, turning the irrigation systems of the plateau into dust. It was an apocalypse that seemed designed to end the Persian story forever. Yet, even in the ruins, the Persian soul found a way to survive. The scholars and poets who escaped the slaughter carried the flame of their culture into new lands, while those who remained slowly civilizing the Mongol Ilkhans, turning fierce warriors into patrons of Persian art and architecture. It was during these dark centuries that Ferdowsi Shahnameh, the Book of Kings, became the secular scripture of the nation, reminding every Iranian that their identity was rooted in a language and a history that no sword could ever cut down. The true modern rebirth of the nation arrived with the Safavids in the 16th century. For the first time since antiquity, a unified Iranian state emerged, declaring Shia Islam as its official faith and creating a distinct national identity that stood apart from its neighbors. This was the era of Isfahan, half of the world, a city of turquoise domes, graceful bridges, and emerald gardens that captured the imagination of the globe. Shah Abbas the Great turned Iran into a center of international diplomacy and trade, weaving a new Persian tapestry of silk and power. However, the centuries that followed were painful descent into the long 19th century, as the Qajar dynasty struggled to maintain sovereignty against the encroaching imperial appetites of Russia and Britain. Iran became a pawn in the Great Game, its territory carved up and its resources exploited, leading to a deep-seated suspicion of foreign interference that remains a core part of the national psyche. The 20th century was a maelstrom of rapid modernization and revolutionary upheaval. From the Constitutional Revolution of 1906 to the rise of the Pahlavis, Iran attempted to leap into the modern world through sheer force of will. Oil, the black gold, became both a blessing and a curse, fueling industrialization while inviting the heavy hand of Western intervention, most notably in the 1953 coup. The tension between tradition and modernity, between the secular state and the religious soul, finally erupted in the 1979 revolution. This was a transformation that shook the world, leading to the birth of the Islamic Republic and a fundamental reordering of Iranian society. The decade that followed was a war of literal survival, the 8-year conflict with Iraq, a brutal struggle that claimed a generation of young men and forged a new, somber resilience in the heart of the nation, leaving scars that continue to shape the Iranian experience today. Part 4. Reflection and Legacy. Today, Iran remains a land of profound depth and persistent paradox, a country that lives simultaneously in the ancient past and the digital future. To understand the legacy of Iran is to understand that its truest territory is not found on a map, but in its poetry. For an Iranian, the verses of Hafez, Saadi, and Rumi are not just literature, they are a home for the soul. Poetry is the medium through which the nation has always expressed its most complex emotions, its grief, its love, and its eternal search for the divine. This is a culture that finds its greatest strength in the hidden garden, the idea that the true essence of beauty and truth is often found behind a closed door or beneath a layer of metaphor. It is a legacy of intellect, where the pursuit of science and philosophy has always been balanced by a deep, mystical appreciation for the unseen. The cultural contribution of Iran to the world is an infinite treasury. It is found in the algebra of Al-Khwarizmi, the medicine of Avicenna, and the intricate geometry of the carpet. It is the legacy of the Paradisos, the garden, the very word from which we derive the concept of paradise. Iran has taught the world that a civilization can be defeated in battle and still emerge as the master of the mind. Its role in the modern world is that of a complex, proud, and often misunderstood guardian of a very old fire. The Persian soul is defined by a characteristic known as irshad, a sense of guidance and refinement, and an unshakable belief in the dignity of its ancient heritage. In an age of rapid globalization, Iran remains a bastion of cultural particularity, a nation that refuses to be just another cog in the machine of the modern world. As we look toward the horizon, the story of Iran continues to be one of constant, quiet transformation. It is a nation of young, vibrant minds who carry the weight of 3,000 years on their shoulders with a mix of weariness and pride. The sun that sets over the ruins of Persepolis today shines on a people who have mastered the art of the long view. They know that empires are ephemeral, but the language, the gardens, and the poetry are eternal. Iran's legacy is a reminder to all of humanity that a culture's truest strength lies in its ability to endure, to adapt, and to remain beautiful even in the face of the storm. The plateau remains, the mountains stand guard, and the soul of Persia beats on, a heart of iron wrapped in silk, waiting for the next dawn.
History is a mirror in which the Persian soul has seen many reflections, some of glory, some of grief, but all of them uniquely its own. Iran is not merely a country. It is a continuity, a persistent melody that has played through the rises and falls of a dozen civilizations. It stands today as a testament to the power of the human spirit, to find meaning in the struggle between light and dark. From the stone cylinders of Cyrus to the neon lights of modern Tehran, the story is the same. A relentless pursuit of the sublime. The horizon is wide. The legacy is written in the very dust of the earth. And the heart of Persia continues to pulse, unbroken, unbowed, and forever eternal. For in the end, empires may pass into shadow, but the garden always remains.